Hello, everybody. We're coming to you from NDTV Newsroom. An important bill has been passed in the Lok Sabha today. It is called Public Services, Public
Public
Examination
exam.
Prevention of Unfair Means. This is a bill that's seen as a timely move by the government to put checks and balances in place. In the last few years, nearly 40 exams papers have been leaked from Patwari schemes to Panchayat services and to also Staff Selection Commission. And this involves the future and careers and livelihoods of lakhs and lakhs of youths and also aspirations of families. Now, this move by the government to bring in this bill, which basically sets very high penalties for wrongdoers, people who issue fake identity cards, or for that matter, who assist students to cheat in examinations, and also are involved in various types of malpractices that happen in public examinations. This is a remarkable move, but it comes very close to the government also sending out very strict guidelines to coaching centers. So, in some ways, it's the government trying to tell the youth of the country that it cares about its future. I was also looking at the opposition debate today, and the opposition has also pointed out certain things with regard to the kind of disproportionate or alleged disproportionate penalties that have been introduced in the bill. To talk about all of this, we have Mr. Vikram Singh, Dr. Vikram Singh with us. Dr. Vikram Singh has been a former DGP of UP, and also he's Chancellor of Noida University. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for speaking to us and for giving us your time. You have been with students. You've also seen the law and order aspect of crime. An issue like this is extremely sensitive, sir. First of all, tell us, how do exam mafias work, and why is it so difficult to crack them?
Unfair means have assumed epidemic proportions in the country. And when I say epidemic proportions, this was a horrible fault line that needs to be addressed. And I'm happy that this bill has come about. Now, you're probably shocked to know that almost 40% of undeserving candidates usually make it to the interview, and the manipulation and copying has reached a certain level. It is not just one or two people copying, it has become an organized crime. And to say that 1 crore of monetary punishment and 10 years behind the bars is not something that is something very drastic. I would say that you have to be cruel to be kind, because when it has assumed epidemic proportions, and as they say in economy, the bad coins drive out the good coins. Likewise, here also, there was a system, in such a well greased system, that the good students were being eased out by the bad ones. And it was a tragedy, an administrative tragedy, that the examination systems were so badly compromised and hijacked in a manner that only many in the large numbers of bad students made it finally to the examinations and almost managed to qualify. It was only when the end product were put to test, and also during the course of their service, it was found they're absolutely substandard. Then
Okay.
the fault line came about, and therefore this bill is something that's relevant. And the opposition who say that the punishment is disproportionate, I would say that the sympathy is absolutely misplaced. This punishment was long overdue, because the use of technology and the involvement of the crime syndicates and the mafia goes about to show that yes, the deterrence of a type that indeed drives the fear of the Almighty into the crime syndicates was absolutely necessary to ensure that merit is never compromised or diluted.
Right. Dr. Singh, one of the points that NCP MP Supriya Sule pointed out today was that there is a lot of misuse of technology, in fact, use of technology when, such wrongdoings happen. And she was saying that it's actually impossible to have the right kind of checks because technology cuts across borders of states, even countries. So there possibly cannot be like a foolproof way to ensure that technology is not misused for this purpose. What do you have to say on that, sir?
Words of profound wisdom, but where there is a will, there is a way. I know the Bluetooth technology, there's other wireless technologies, then using microchips embedded in the soles and even injected and even planted in the ears also facilitate copying. But well, there is a system of eavesdropping and also checking. There is a system that is almost fail-proof and foolproof, and let nobody live in an illusion. The technology is such that we can identify microchips, the use of technology, the use of Bluetooth technology also to identify who is using unfair meals. There is use of jammers also, which can prevent the use of these technologies, the disruptive technologies, to facilitate copying. Of course, it is not easy. It comes at a price, and it comes at taking the technology at a particular level. But it is perfectly doable. And I'm happy Ms. Sule has pointed out to a very gray area that needs to be upgraded and constantly improved and upgraded on regular intervals, because technology also is growing by leaps and bounds and not being able to keep pace with the law enforcement. Therefore, there is a need that the law enforcement has to be a generation ahead of the copycats and the crime syndicate mafias.
Right. Dr. Singh, can you also tell us about the conviction rate when it comes to, accused in these cases? You must have seen a lot of trials happen. What kind of witnesses get produced? How easy is to ensure that the wrongdoers or the accused get at least the deserved treatment? Because, as long as you don't have trained people in the system, in the police system, laws may not be able to make that kind of a difference.
Excellent question. Now, the first thing is the financial trade. The payout is heavy. It runs into lakhs and crores. So the financial trades, the income that is disproportionate to the known sources of income, then the trade also, who was privy, then the question of getting approvers from those who were the beneficiary but now have agreed to become approvers for the investigators, and also the extrajudicial confessions and the professional investigation of getting the circumstantial evidence in a manner that it is almost incontrovertible and cannot be challenged in a court of law, because the evidence is so complete: the circumstantial, the documentary, the financial trail, the approver's confession. Everything boils down to the one fact that there was copying, there were crime syndicates, and there were beneficiaries in the system. And therefore, I feel it is difficult, but certainly doable.
Right. Dr. Singh, for the benefit of our viewers, I know you've touched upon this, but what kind of malpractices actually happen? Because, issuing of fake or, identity cards, or for that matter, even leaking of answer keys and question papers, or for that matter, even assisting students in copying, because that is where the institutionalization of copying takes place. And in this bill, if you see, there is a clause that says that properties of such institutions which have been found in allowing cheating, that will be sort of like taken in custody also. So that I think is a good move. But tell us, what kind of malpractices actually take place that actually help in that in some ways aggravate this problem.
You see, to your first question, that what are the dimensions of this problem, beginning from framing of the question papers, compromise at the level of framing of the question papers, compromise at the level of printing of the OMR sheets and also printing of the question papers, then compromise at the level of distribution of question papers, and then you must have seen, because it is now in common knowledge, public and mass copying answers being read out on public address systems to a closed group of users. Those who have paid the copying mafia, that they're made to sit in a particular room and through a loudspeaker or public address system, as if they're sitting in the club, and answers are dictated to them. Then at the another level, the answer sheets are evaluated and marks awarded very liberally. Compromise of OMR sheets, and also then to the last question, to the use of technology. But having said that, that all these things have to be addressed. Attachment of property, confiscation of property is imperative, because you must have, starting from the Vyapam scam of Madhya Pradesh to other scams. But it is on a very happier note, I would say, that the UP STF has given a death knell to the copying mafia in the state of Uttar Pradesh, because the determination of the government is such that it is zero tolerance. It wasn't zero tolerance earlier. Therefore, the difference has come about now, when the government is determined to have zero tolerance, and therefore most of the copying mafia are now behind bars. But I wish other states in the neighboring areas also follow suit and take this up as the best practice and implement it in letter and spirit also.
So my last question to you, now that the center is all about to have a law, because we saw the bill getting passed by Lok Sabha today, and also there was not much opposition, because many people seem to agree that this is something that is need of the hour, and this is a problem not just in opposition ruled states but also in BJP ruled states. We have seen political ramifications of this. Also, BJP got a comfortable victory in Rajasthan because it promised a high-level probe into the paper leaks that happened. So tell us, what is now this law will pertain to railways, Staff Selection Commission, banking exams, NTA exams. But how important is it for states to bring about their own laws? Is that an important requirement, sir?
faithful implementation, a law is as good as its faithful implementation. It is good to have a small number of laws that are faithfully implemented than to have a large number of laws that are loosely implemented. The states should have their laws, but the will to implement them ruthlessly and faithfully, that is more important. The laws are there. The laws were there earlier also. But without the laws also, there was absolutely faithful implementation when there were no anti-copying laws. But now we have the law and there is faithful implementation in several states, including Uttar Pradesh. The result is very obvious. I would expect the states to have their own enactments, but this central law will be binding in all the states. But the state will have to come out with a corrigendum and a gazette notification that they will incorporate their internal and the state and the district level test also within the ambit of this law so that this law becomes applicable to their examination systems also.
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for all those invites. Very valuable and very useful to all our viewers. Thank you so much. Sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for speaking to NDTV.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.